There's a guy in Atlanta making $72,000 a year. He just paid off his car. 5 months later, he walked into a dealership and bought a new one. His old car had 47,000 miles on it. It ran perfectly. He couldn't explain why he did it. Here's the thing. He didn't have to explain it. His brain did it for him. And before you say, "That's not me," think about every car you've owned. How long did you keep each one after you paid it off? For most people, the answer is not very long. That's not a coincidence. That's a loop. A loop your brain runs automatically, without asking for your permission. And most people never see it. They just run it. Payment after payment, car after car, year after year. Today we're going to break it. Not with a budget, not with willpower, with understanding. Because once you see the loop, it can't run you anymore. Here's what everyone gets wrong about cars. They treat it as a math problem. Lease versus buy, new versus used, monthly payment versus down payment. That's not the problem. Those are symptoms. The real problem is what happens inside your brain. The moment you make your last car payment, the moment you should feel free. But here's what nobody tells you in town. That moment is the most dangerous point in the entire cycle. Not because of the money, because of what your brain does with the silence that follows. Stay with me. This isn't about financial literacy. You already know cars are expensive. This isn't about discipline. The guy in Atlanta had plenty of discipline. He paid off a multi-year loan. This is about a neurological loop. Your brain runs it automatically. It has been running since before you signed the first piece of paperwork. 3 mechanisms. Understand all 3, and the loop breaks. Miss one, and it keeps running. Let's go. Here's the first one. Your brain runs on dopamine. But here's what most people don't know. Dopamine doesn't spike when you get what you want. It spikes in anticipation of getting it. The research on this is unambiguous. When you're financing a car, your brain is releasing dopamine constantly. Walking into the dealership, picking the color, that new car smell on day one. Dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And then, within weeks, your brain adapts. The new car is just your car now. The signal fades. Scientists call this hedonic adaptation. It's the same mechanism that makes every raise feel normal within 3 months. Every upgrade feel ordinary within a year. Your brain is not built for satisfaction. It's built for pursuit. Here's where the loop kicks in. Cars have a built-in reset button. It's called the payoff date. The moment you make that final payment, the anticipation loop has nothing left to feed on. So your brain starts scanning for the next hit. You don't decide to go car shopping. Your brain engineers the conditions that lead you there. You start noticing the scratches. The outdated screen, your colleague's new model in the parking lot. None of that is random. Your brain is rebuilding the loop, and it has had your whole adult life to practice. Let that land for a second. You didn't choose to want a new car. Your brain chose it for you. And then it convinced you the idea was yours. That's mechanism 1. Here's the second one, and this one is harder to admit. Because it's not about money at all. It's about who you think you are. Here's what nobody says out loud. Your car is not transportation. Your car is a public statement. What you've achieved, what neighborhood you belong to, whether you're moving forward or falling behind. That's why a downgrade feels wrong, genuinely uncomfortable, even when it makes perfect financial sense. It's not about the car, it's about the identity the car is holding. Behavioral economists call this status signaling, and cars are one of the clearest examples in modern life. Here's the data that should stop you cold. The median price that millionaires pay for their cars and people with a net worth above $1 million is $31,367. 61% of people earning over $250,000 drive Hondas, Toyotas, or Fords. Read that again. The people who actually won the game stopped using their car as a status signal years ago. They drive what works. Meanwhile, most people are financing their identity at 7% APR, and the identity depreciates faster than the car. Let that sit. You're not buying a car. You're buying a story you're telling the world about yourself. And that story comes with monthly payments. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because all of this, the dopamine, the identity, has a real price tag. Here's the third mechanism, the math nobody calculates, not the monthly payment math. Everyone knows that. The math nobody sits down and actually runs. The average American replaces their car every 6 years. Average car payment, around $700 a month. But here's the scenario nobody runs. You pay off your car, you drive it for 3 more years, and you invest that $700 a month automatically into an S&P 500 index fund. At historical returns of 10% annually, that's roughly $29,000 after 3 years, not from a raise, not from a side hustle, from not replacing a car that still runs. Now extend that over 20 years, repeating the same cycle, holding cars instead of upgrading them. The gap becomes a number that will make you uncomfortable. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, not from luck, not from high risk, from understanding the loop and refusing to run it. The loop is not just taking your money, it's taking your future, one payoff date at a time. Here's the shift. You don't fight the dopamine loop, you redirect it. The loop needs anticipation. Give it something worth anticipating. Every month you choose not to replace your car, the money that would have gone to a payment goes into an investment account instead. And that number grows. Compound interest creates its own dopamine hit, one that doesn't fade because the number keeps moving. The car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. The investment appreciates. You're not giving up the reward, you're upgrading the reward. The second part is identity. You need to make one decision, not a new one, every time the loop resets. Decide now, I am someone who holds cars. Because when your brain starts engineering reasons to walk into a dealership, and it will, you need a pre-made decision to override it. Not willpower in the moment, a choice already made. Here's what to do. 3 things this week. 1. Find your payoff date. If your car has less than 12 months left, mark it in your calendar. Not as a shopping day, as an investment setup day. The moment that payment stops, you set up an automatic transfer for the same amount, before you can touch it. 2. Look up the actual value of your current car, not what you paid, what it would cost today to replace it with equivalent mileage. You're going to realize you're already driving a deal. 3. Find one person you genuinely respect financially. Not a celebrity, not an athlete. A founder, an investor, someone who built real wealth from scratch. Look up what they drive. I promise you, it will not be what you expected. Here's the truth. You don't own your car owns you. And it has been doing it since before you made the first payment. The loop only breaks when you see it clearly. You see it now. If something clicked, if you've ever paid off a car and found yourself in a dealership 6 months later without understanding why, hit that like button. 1 second. It tells me this is the content that actually helps you. Subscribe, because this is what I do here, not generic money tips. The real neuroscience behind why your brain works against your wallet and exactly how to flip it. Hit the bell, all notifications, so you never miss a thing. I'm Grant, and I'll see you in the next one.